Each route comes with its own level of risk and reward, and choosing the right one at the right time makes for some quite tense decisions. Hey everyone, this is Attackers. Today I'm going to bring you my review of Lunar Rush. This is a Euro-style board game that is like mostly simultaneous play and combines like time-based resource management, market economics, bidding, and tableau engine building also as well into a game that is quite interesting and also quite unique. But before we get started, as usual, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's do this. All right, there we go. So let me just tell you how I will structure today's video. In today's video, I will give you like a quick overview over like the general gameplay loop, what you do in the game. This will not be a full teach with all the little rules, just like a quick overview so kind of know what you're expecting here. And then I will give you my review of the game. All right, so let's get started with like what the game is about. So in this game, you play one of Earth's 4 major corporate conglomerates, and you're competing to mine the moon for the newly discovered wonder materials, lunethyst crystals and lunarium ore. There are these 2 purple resources here that you can see on the market board. All right, so in general, in this game, you choose like one of these 4 conglomerate factions, and they are a little bit asymmetric. And also you can like choose different Earth markets here, right? This is like the variance that the game brings. I have set up the game here to explain it to you for a solo game. That means you play by yourself, of course, and you can also like put AIs into the mix. I've only put 1 AI here, the green one here, but you can also add like 2 AIs if you want to. Instead, you can also do that in a multiplayer game. If you're playing a 2-player game, you can just add 1 or 2 AIs. They play quite seamlessly and quite easy, so that is definitely a thing. All right, so how do you play this game and what do you generally do? In general, what you do is you always launch spaceships here from Earth up to the moon to put resources there that you can then use because you have your base right here in the top right on the moon. That is the moon base that you can use in order to do specific things. Here you will assign your astronauts to like specific modules. You will like upgrade modules and like produce resources, produce life support, all of these things. And you also launch ships from the moon back to Earth in order to sell the materials that you've made here, especially like the shards and the gems here, right? But for that, you first need to upgrade your moon base. In order to determine who can pick first, who goes first in turn order to pick like which lane they want to use, you do the bidding at the very beginning. And after you sell your gems, bars, ores, shards, whatever in the Earth market, the market changes. The more you sell, the less worth it becomes. But the market can also refresh again at specific points here whenever you reach specific thresholds. That is the game in a nutshell. But how does the game play? Well, let me just give you a quick overview here. So first of all, you always bid for initiative. That works in such a way that the players at the same time, in a solo game, just you, choose one of your cards. Every player has a card from 1 to 5, but once you choose a bid, you can't use it until the round after the next round, right? You get it like back at the like the next round, and then you can use it again in 2 rounds, right? That's one thing to keep in mind. So for example, I would probably just bid the 2 for now. Usually you would do it like face down, but in a solo game it doesn't matter. So then you just put that there, right? I'm bidding the 2. Then we take a look at what the AI bids. The AI bids a 5. All right, so we have our initiative order here. So the AI goes on 5, and I go on 2. And now one thing that is very, very interesting is after this bidding stuff here, right? Like the number we bid is deducted from our points, right? And these are our giga credits. This is like the money that we have and also our victory points. At the end of the game, we want to be the richest conglomerate, right? That means I lose 2 points and the AI loses 5 points even, right? So yay, I'm definitely winning here. No, just kidding. But that is like how that would work. So now the AI can first choose where the AI, like which lane they want to choose. What do the lanes do? Well, the lanes are different because we have like a fast a medium, and a slow launch. In a 2-player game, you choose 2 random lanes that you will close off. So for the up movement, for the moon-bound ships, we only have slow and medium launch. Slow launch means you can load 9 items on there, which is a lot, but you need 2 rounds to actually get there. For the medium launch, you need 1 round to get there, but you can only load 5 items. And for the fast launch, if it were available in this game, you can only load 2 items, but you're there immediately. You can immediately unload your stuff on the moon, right? So you always have to think of, okay, do I want to have the slow or the medium or the fast launch? Do I want to have a lot of items a little bit later or fewer items right now, right? That's kind of the idea. So the AI would start, we turn over the up and the down cards, just like that, and the AI can choose first. So we now go for the up. On the up card, we go from top to bottom. So first of all, we choose here, slow, medium, or fast. It will choose the slow route. The slow route is still available, so we take one of their ships and put it on the slow launch. Now it's my turn. Next in initiative order, now I can choose a lane. There's only one left, the medium launch, right? So I will put my ship right on there. Then it's the AI. Then after the initiative order has been done, we start from the beginning again, and it's the AI again. The AI will now look for the down, for the earthbound ships, and we'll start with slow. And we see slow isn't available, so the next one will be medium then. So that's a medium launch right here. So you put an AI ship right there. And now it's my turn again. The fast 2 launch here and there is only for a 4-player game. So the only one left is the fast launch right there. So we'll put my ship right there. And that already was the bidding phase. Now we do like the rest of the Earth phase, which we're doing right now, and that is loading the moonbound ships. The AI doesn't load ships, so we just remove that ship. That is just to block the routes that are moonbound. And now I can load my ship. So you see, I can load 5 items. I can choose any items that are produced on Earth, and there are different ones. We have like the red cubes with the advanced machinery. We have the astronauts right here. These are our workers. Then we have the tech cubes right here, and we have the habitation parts, which is the most valuable ones. But these take up 2 spots on your ship, and you can always load a maximum of 2 astronauts on your ship. And we can load 5 items, right? So I would probably choose this one here. That counts as 2 items. Then maybe I would choose 2 astronauts. That's another 2 slots. So 4 of 5 slots have been filled. I can do 1 more slot. You know what? Let's just take maybe one of these advanced machinery ones, like this. And that is how I would load my moonbound ship. And now to end the Earth phase, we would now move the moonbound ship. That means we move all the ships. They are not for the AI, but mine, so we will just move it there, like this, right? And next round, then I can unload it. Not yet, right? Because then we do that always at the beginning of the Earth phase. That was the Earth phase. Now we have the Moon phase. The Moon phase works in such a way that we still have our initiative here, right? And now in reverse initiative, so I can start, we can take a look at these gold modules here. These are very expensive to build. You see down here what you need, right? You need 2 of the advanced machinery, 2 life support, 2 energy, then 1 lunarium ore and 1 lunethyst shard. Very, very expensive, and also they cost something to buy. So we won't choose any of them this round, but this is where you would buy those, and the AI doesn't do that. But what the AI does, the AI does whatever is set on the bottom up card, on the bottom of the up card here. It says -1 gold mod and -1 gold mod if it was first in bid order, which it was. So we would now randomly remove 2 of those. Usually we would have them in a tableau, and then you could just roll a d8 or something like that. You can also just shuffle them up, right, and then just remove 2 randomly. These cannot be built anymore. That's what the AI does. After that, we can also draft Moon Wonders. These are an optional module, which I haven't incorporated into that game here, but you could also do that. And then we build and produce. All right. And that is where we as a player can now do all of our things. I don't have any of these materials yet, right? So we can't work with those, but we do have our 3 astronauts, and we have one of these white cubes, right? So now there are several things that we can do. So first of all, what we can always do is take one of our astronauts and put one, for example, here, right? And then we could like do whatever it says here on the right. So reduce 2 life support, for example, like go up with that marker. We have life support up here and energy down there. Why is that important? Well, at the end of each round, we need to like have enough life support for our astronauts, like feed them, so to speak. Like what Uwe Rosenberg would do in feeding the animals, we do in having life support for the astronauts. We would have to deduct 3 life support for these 3 astronauts at the end of the game. The second thing we can do is upgrade one of these modules. We do have a hand of cards here with like these intermediate modules, and we can also upgrade them later to advanced modules, right? And we also have like that one startup module here. So for example, let's just reverse that. Let's say the basic life support is nice, but we want to have the intermediate life support in order to have more, more life support that we could generate, right? Then we would take a look here. There it says what we need to upgrade that. We need one of these. We need 1 life support and 1 energy. We don't have an energy, but what we could do is put an astronaut right here. We gain 2 energy, and then we would upgrade that here. That means we pay that one 1 life support and 1 energy. So we can now put the intermediate life support on here. And that means we now have upgraded our base, right? And now we could use it immediately. We can now put an astronaut on here and say that's 3 life support. Well, isn't that amazing? So now every time we use that, we can have 3 life support, right? So that's like what we do. We like use all of these stations, and we can also like upgrade our stuff here, right? So for example, let's just say that we, oops, I didn't want to do that. Then we put like an astronaut here, and we like produce one of these shards here, right? Then we put that now onto our item storage. We also have a ×2 item storage, just in case we have like more stuff here. All right, so that would be like the build and produce phase that we all do simultaneously. The AI doesn't do anything in a solo game. In a multiplayer game, every player would just do it themselves because there is no interaction, right? We can do in our base whatever we want to do in our moon base here. And then we load the earthbound ships. You see, we have like the ship up here, right? That we want to send earthbound. It's on the fast launch lane, right? So we get whatever there is immediately. What I forgot to say is we can load any of these Earth items into our moonbound ships because we are huge conglomerates, and like the resources on Earth don't cost us anything. Doesn't really matter, right? It's just peanuts for us. So we can just load anything on there that we want to, as long as we have the space for it. Moonbound is different. The Earthbound ships are different, right? Because we have to produce this stuff on the moon in order to bring it like back to Earth and sell it, right? We want to get like as rich as we can. So now I can load up to 1 item, it says here, like 1 item, 3 and 7 item. Here, 1 item I can load on the ship. So I will just do that. And then we would be in the market phase. In the market phase at the beginning, the AI, we just draw a card for the AI ship. And we see here, we can like put it on the ship, but we can also just check that out. It is on a medium route, right? Yeah, it is on a medium route. So it will now sell 2 lunarium ore and 1 lunethyst shard. That means it sells 1 lunarium ore and gains 9 points for that. And then it sells another one and gains another 9 points for that. So it's 18 points, so it's up to 38. And then you always like push that one further when you sell, right? And you see that the prices get less and less, right? The more you sell, the less the prices get, but they will also like go back right here. They can like refresh a little bit as well. And then also 1 lunethyst shard, that's another 8 points. So the AI would be at 46. That's how that would work. And we would do the same thing. Because we're on a fast lane, we move our ship and we're immediately there. We're immediately on Earth, right? That means that 1 shard goes back in the supply, and we sell that for 8 as well. 2, 4, 6, 8. And that will go back to our supply, as well as that one here as well. Then, as I said, right, at specific thresholds, the market prices can also refresh again. And then we just advance our turn marker. And when we're like at the end of the game ends, of course, at the end of the 7th round. So it's not that long, the game, actually, especially since it's like also simultaneous, right? There are a few things to take note of. So one of them is that the bid is like much more expensive towards the end of the game. In round 5, your bid costs twice as many giga credits, and then 3 times, and in the last round even 5 times as much. So if you wanna have like first priority initiative order, then you would and you would play the 5. Then you would have to pay like 25 giga credits, which is like really expensive, right? And also, what I've missed to say is that the astronauts also go back at the end of the round to the basic habitation module, and then you would lose as much life support as you have astronauts. And then the next rounds would just go pretty much exactly the same, right? We would already have ship there, right? So we could like get our stuff next round. And whenever like a moonbound ship reaches the moon, then we just take all of these things that we put on there and put it in our item storage, and then we can just use that for building, for upgrading, for all of that. And the astronauts would go immediately here, so we could immediately use them for like whatever we want to do, right? And that is how the game works. The rules just in a nutshell, so you kind of get an idea of how this game works. So now that you've seen that quick overview of how Lunar Rush works, what do I think of the game? Well, let me tell you in my review. Let's start with the presentation. The artwork and board design fit the theme well. It's all about moon production and transport. But I have to say, the board can look quite busy at first. It takes a bit of time before everything like feels clear and easy to read. The components are a bit of a mixed bag. While the cards aren't of the greatest quality, the resource tokens are excellent. Especially the shiny astronauts, which look and feel really great. This is the regular version of the game, but there's also a deluxe version with even nicer components if you prefer higher production quality. Visually, the game looks fine, although it's not particularly eye-catching. It's functional and fits the theme, but I wouldn't call it a standout in terms of table presence. But now let's talk about the most important aspect, and that's gameplay. Thematically, Lunar Rush works really well. Most things make perfect sense. Producing goods on the moon, transporting them back to Earth, selling them for profit, and managing your life support for your astronauts. It all ties together nicely. The bidding mechanism is particularly clever. I like that bidding is directly tied to your victory points, which makes every decision feel meaningful. Do you spend points now for an advantage, or do you hold back for the long run? Especially for the route mechanism, which is another standout. I don't think I've seen anything quite like it before. Each route comes with its own level of risk and reward, and choosing the right one at the right time makes for some quite tense decisions. The variable market is also a good addition, constantly shifting and forcing players to adapt. That said, if you're not a fan of stock market style games, this one might not be your favorite mechanism. Once you get through the rulebook, the game's core rules are surprisingly approachable, but the math and strategy behind it are quite crunchy. This is very much a gamer's game, rather than a light family experience. The AI is also excellent. It runs smoothly, needs almost no upkeep, and works perfectly in solo mode. I also really like that you can include the AI even in multiplayer games. That's a great design decision. And finally, a few things that could be improved. The rulebook that I just mentioned isn't as clear as it could be. I had to read some parts several times to fully understand them. Once you've internalized the rules, it's fine, but the learning process could definitely be smoother. But all in all, Lunar Rush combines a strong theme with clever mechanisms and a deep strategic gameplay. The bidding system, route choices, and variable market create a thoughtful, rewarding experience that offers a lot to dig into. While the visuals are just okay and the rulebook could use a bit more clarity, the gameplay itself easily makes up for it. This is a crunchy, satisfying Euro-style game that rewards planning, optimization, and just the right amount of risk management. Also, a huge thanks to Dead Alive Games for providing me with a review copy for Lunar Rush. Well, that concludes my showcase and review of Lunar Rush. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and for sticking to the very end of the video. As usual, my thanks goes out to all of you. A special shout out to my generous patrons. The biggest thanks go out to Thagno for supporting me at the highest tier. I truly appreciate that. You can support me by watching, liking, and commenting on my videos, subscribing to my channel, supporting me on Patreon, and joining my Discord server to hang out with me and my amazing community. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the very next video or my Discord server. Take care everyone, stay safe, and cheers.